verified so far, and we're just counting less than 1 million votes, and anytime from today, but of course not later than tomorrow, Mr. Wafula Chebukati will be telling us who of the two gentlemen, Raila Amolo Odinga of the Azimio coalition or Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto of the Kenya Kwanza coalition. We'll wait to see, and of course congratulate whoever makes it to the helm of business in Kenya. But out from all that, now we'll get to a conversation. Just a while ago, last week, we actually hosted the President of the Republic of Somalia, President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, who made a two-day state visit here on the invitation of his counterpart, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And of course, one of the things that came out of that meeting was the bilaterals and of course the working relationships between the two countries, Somalia and Uganda. And now joining me in studios is Mr. Musoke Nagenda, the chairman of the Kampala City Traders Association, with me to talk about these new markets and of course what we got from the bilaterals. You're very welcome, Mr. Musoke Nagenda.
Thank you. Good morning, our viewers. My name is Musoke Thaddeus Nagenda Tadeo, Chairman Kasita, Uganda. Okay.
Well, I'm happy to have you there. And first and foremost, how do you find it? How do you find it being there? For many years, we knew, of course, Kasita is a very big organization, but for many years we knew Issa Sechito and the late Kayondo. How do you find it now?
So far, so good, because I've been part of Kasita for some good years.
Okay.
Before becoming the chairman, I was the general secretary, and I was managing the secretariat and all the operations of the association. And so when we got challenges, when we lost our chairman, and we had to carry out an emergency elections, whereby luckily enough I was voted, and then my comrade Issa Sechito, I don't know the best I can say, but he had to leave a leeway for me, because he saw that I have that ability to serve the business community.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And of course, that's where you are. And once the people vote for you in office and say, here is where you are, then of course you have to prove yourself by serving them. And then of course...
By this challenging, given the fact that now the trends in the business community and even the economic crisis all over the world, it's not easy. And by the time I came in, we are just we are still in the phase opening of the economy. So you find that it has been a very tricky situation.
Okay.
But as a man, we have to fight on. Businessmen, we don't easily give up, but you find challenges and then you turn them into opportunities.
Okay.
So far, I think, I don't know, maybe the businessmen will say how I'm serving.
Okay. That's very important. What did you make of the Somali president's visit to Uganda? As business persons, of course, we had meetings here, and somebody would tell you, well, you are having a country that has been war-ravaged for decades. What business opportunities, or what do you even take there, or what even happens to that? What did you specifically, as Kasita, make of the opportunities for trade?
You know, when I came into office, I wanted to change the perception, how people perceive towards Kasita. It's not about striking. But to see how relevant are we to the business community. And we have been engaging our traders to change their perception. You know, Ugandans, we are very comfortable in our country. Yeah, we may complain, but we are very comfortable here. But when you see now, like our comrades Somalis, I remember when I was doing my master's, we were studying with them. They are very aggressive people. So when you move around Chisenyi area, you may wonder they have conquered all that area, and they're very aggressive in business. When I used to travel in Nairobi, you find that they control a big portion of the business community in Nairobi. So they are so good. I admire their aggressiveness in business. So we try to see, how do we change the perception of traders to see that we tap into the integration process, given the fact that it's private sector led, and we find possible opportunities. So we are able to go to Congo because it has vital opportunities. Now we are planning to go to Tanzania because we met the president of Tanzania here. And then Rwanda, we are in touch with General Soke, now the new ambassador of Uganda in Rwanda, then Burundi. Because the moment you don't widen your market, And the fact is that the president always is trying his level best to make sure that we Ugandans utilize. Now just imagine that our UPDF did a very great role in stabilizing Somalia.
For many, many years most.
Yes, now I feel like if we are not aggressive, Kenya will take all those privileges and opportunities because also Kenyans are aggressive. The same applies like when even we met the president, we told him that our comrades in Kenya, they have already allocated a special fund to facilitate trade in DRC and Sudan through KCB and then here Equity Bank, because they know the moment Kenyans go to Congo, Kenya will benefit. So we are not ready to sleep. We as Kasita members. So we are going to do whatever it takes to see how do we utilize this. So for the case study of Somalia, you find that, whenever we are in these summits, you clearly know the incentives which are available. Given the fact that Somalia has the longest coast, by the way, in East Africa, because now they want to join East Africa. So you find that we shall be having other alternatives or transit routes. Like currently, because of the elections in Kenya, we are pursuing our traders to utilize the Central Corridor. The Central Corridor is the Tanzanian route, given not to rely on just one route for transit of goods. So you find that when Somalia is now on board and the rate of stability has greatly improved, you may reconsider also the Somali route. And given the fact now even we have an arrangement with Djibouti also, they want to put another free trade area. So you find that we are trying to see how do we tap in all these opportunities. And you know that Somalis enjoy coffee so much.
Exactly coming to ask you that what opportunities are there for our traders more so? Because the Uganda People's Defense Forces have scored on their Pan-African mission of pacifying the region and of course seeing that there is stability on the continent. And once they do that, they've done it. The UPDF goes and fights Al-Shabaab and have a peaceful environment. Then now the mantle is left to the Nagenders, exactly, and the rest of us. But what are these opportunities that we can actually see and say? Because you see, when we talk trade, in most cases we are talking about imports. We talk about imports.
Trade is two-way.
Exactly. But you see, the Ugandan way of thinking trade is what do we get from Somalia to bring here? That's why somebody will say, I have a few million shillings, let me go to China, find phones, come and put them on Mutasa Kafero. I have a few millions, let me go to Dubai, find this and that, come and put them up. Let me go get accessories or stuff like that. That's the thinking of trade. They don't want to think that, what do I carry from here to Mogadishu? Or from here to Djibouti? So these opportunities, what are these that you're looking at and crafting and saying, here is where we should go?
You're right, because even basing on research, African countries, the trade between African countries is less. Mainly we enjoy trading with outside countries, outside the continent of Africa. But we are trying, I think, process by process, we shall improve the trade. Because basing on our research, it shows that Somali, they enjoy coffee so much. And unfortunately, you find that the coffee is not imported from Uganda, but it's imported.
They're neighbors. Yeah.
No, it's imported from Europe.
Germany and elsewhere.
Yes, and by the way, we export unprocessed coffee outside. They process and then they re-export here near Somalia. It's like, we just got a scenario of Pinet, whereby the president's argument, by the way, they are very important when you critically analyze what is trying to explain to Ugandans. Because the moment you process coffee to the finest value addition, the fact is that our dollar returns will improve. The only challenge is that during this process of value addition, we have challenges of adequate financial finance, because access to finance in Uganda is still a challenge, mainly for long-term financing. But given the fact that even the standard we have currently of processed coffee, we can get a lot of money from Somalia. And then secondly, we are planning not just to compete with Somalis. In the way to be partners, we are promoting mainly mergers. What opportunities are in Uganda? What opportunities are in Somalia? Because the moment we say that now, okay, let us go in Somalia and we start setting up shops for mobile phones. My friend, when you go in Kenya, these people are very aggressive. You cannot outcompete them. They are controlling the mobile phone market in Kenya. So the moment you say that you are going to compete with them, you cannot outcompete.
You'll fail in business.
But when you decide, let us gang up and then we merge with that collaboration, when we are faithful, because you know, such businessmen, we have such challenges. What happened like in South Sudan? You know, we always aim at maximizing profits. But the moment you do, you have that ethical business conduct, we can do a lot in Somalia. And now even like when I was with the ambassador of Uganda to Somalia, we're trying, how do we sell posho to Somalia? So we are trying to see how we convince our comrade here, Maganjo, and other members of Kasita to see how do we utilize that market.
And somebody has actually also mooted that argument. Do we have enough flour? Do we have enough posho itself to sell? Do we have enough in the country that we can even think about tapping into the markets?
For sure, I think
with the maize that we have.
The moment the market is there, that is an incentive of promoting agriculture in Uganda. The fact is that we have been telling our members, why do you put all your mangoes or eggs just
in one basket?
One basket. Because you find that we are supposed to invest in agriculture. It's becoming very profitable. With this inflation, if you just continue lamenting, the food prices have gone high, the cost of living is expensive. For us businessmen, we see opportunities. How can I tap in that opportunity? How can I invest now in maize growing? Because maize growing, now by the way, is very marketable. For me, I own some schools in Mukono, and you find this term, we had to struggle, by the way, to feed the learners. That's why I'm trying to see how do I invest largely in agriculture. I'm not going just to sit here in the central business area, that I have a shop, that it's okay, given the fact I'm the chairman of Kasita, I'm supposed to focus only on selling whatever I'm selling, my shops.
Okay.
So comrade, I think we need to be so aggressive.
Okay.
And we need to change the perception. What do we gain from exportation? The moment you export maize, you are getting dollars. You are making farmers happy. Should the farmers always be miserable? So we just need to improve our capacity, production capacity. That's why even when we made a recommendation to the president about how the government can handle, mitigate, find possible mitigation measures about the inflation, we said, let us invest heavily in agriculture.
Okay. In 2011, when South Sudan had just gotten their independence, and of course there was that economic boom and the trade relations between Ugandans and the people of South Sudan. Until a few years later on, about 2013, when things started falling apart, when we saw now the fallout of Dr. Riek Machar and Mariadit Salva Kiir. And there was a lot of crying foul by Ugandan traders. I do not know how shrewd Ugandan traders are when it comes to doing business, but you notice that one, there were issues of how you were even ferrying goods in there. We were taking raw materials or raw stuff, value addition. We've always talked about value addition. The president has talked about value addition, and I think even in State House he has a whole table to do value addition. You would notice that Ugandan would say, I am carrying my tomatoes from maybe Luwero and I'm transporting them to Yei or Juba or anywhere, and they get rotten on the way because of issues of this and that, banters, etc. What needs to be done to appreciate that, okay, When we are trading with a country like Somalia, we will not carry our nanansi raw as it is and maybe struggle with it to get it to Mogadishu. How best can we sell a nanansi to them? How best can we sell our kasoli and ninyanya and anything?
So no, I think you have a very great argument. I don't find any problem selling the raw nanasi because I've been selling avocado in Dubai. I take avocados also in Dubai, and they enjoy that fresh avocado. So also our nanasi, we can sell it in Somalia as raw as it is. I think now there is, with our Uganda Airlines, just within minutes it can be there. So we need to support our Uganda Airlines.
National carrier.
Yes. And then secondly, we are processing. I've been with this lady Chiaz and others. The processing is now moving on so well. She has acres and acres of mangoes. So value addition, some Ugandans have embraced. We have been with this lady, Bella Wine, and she's also adding value. The only challenge is that, like I told you, yes, most of when the president is addressing the nation, emphasizes is the access of finance through Uganda Development Bank. But the position of Kasita is that can we simplify all the conditions to enable more Ugandans access that fund, because funding is limiting us. You find that value addition necessitates investing heavily in machinery. Is it possible that we can get machinery at ease? Secondly, can they lower the interest rate?
And I think machinery is brought in without taxes or something?
Yes, without taxes, but advanced machinery is expensive because it is electricity efficient, and then it's faster. You know, it boosts the whole capacity, all the production process. But the fact is that we need to simplify the whole process of accessing to long-term financing, because even the rate is slightly high. For Uganda Development Bank, we need it to be lowered. When it's lowered, even we were requesting that can they change the mandate of Uganda Development Bank, not to be a profit-making institute, but
does
to
it make profit?
Yes, it's a profit-making institute. It should be an engine of development. Let it facilitate development. When we achieve that, you find that many Ugandans will embrace. Because the fact is that when you don't support the government policy, you're going to run out of business. You cannot fight with government. When the direction of the government says let us add value, and you find, I like it nowadays when the president, you may ignore what he says, but he's emphasizing that when you add value, you maximize profit. So it's not forcing Ugandans just to add value, but it's showing us the opportunities when you add value. So unless every businessman wants to maximize profit. So what should be, why shouldn't I maximize profit? The only challenge I've told you is access to capital. It's like before, even the president used to attack a seat. I think that we just want to import. But the fact is that we have a challenge here. That we think about capital, you have to go to the bank to get capital. But what other comrades are doing, let me give a scenario for Somalis. They are utilizing the Islamic banking. For the Islamic banking, I think that's what even is making them so aggressive.
In Somalia?
Yes, but they don't have that fixed rate. No. You want machinery, they buy the machinery, and they facilitate you with that machinery. So when you make profits, you share the profits. When you make losses, soon put here. So you find that they're having that ease in financial issues. Secondly, if Ugandans can be, the better word in Uganda is to be very full. So that it's transparent, whereby we can join hands. You see why it's failing the circles? When you bring 10,000, I bring 10,000, and another comrade brings 10,000, that's 30. We can easily get capital. But we want to be so independent. The moment you see Nedda is Somalia Kafuna, you want to go alone. But if we formulate that joint ventures, we can easily even avoid using very expensive loans. Currently, as Kasita, we're handling several cases where our members, commercial buildings here in Kampala are being taken by commercial banks. Houses are being taken currently because loans which we are using in order to go into value addition, they're expensive. Just imagine, because Bank of Uganda is trying to control inflation. Now the CBR has been risen to almost 9%. So what is the bank going to do? It's going to charge us 30%. So you cannot access to loans. So we have a lot.
And UDA is not helping? UDB rather?
UDB, the problem with UDB, getting money from UDB.
It's cumbersome. What does UDC do for you?
UDC, it tries, but you know, we still have a challenge. That's why our recommendation is, can the public sector move at the same pace with the private sector? Because we are faster, we value time. Money is there in Uganda development, but
yes, of course, government has been recapitalizing it.
But it will take ages. Unless maybe you have a comrade who can give Patricia a call. Hello, Patricia. Saidi, I'm okay. We have taken our members there. I'm telling you, so far no one has ever received money. But we are engaging them. Okay. We are engaging them because we thought now fighting them, given the fact that it's a government institute.
You can't fight the government.
You cannot fight the government. But engaging them, we can lobby, and they simplify the process. Okay.
The other thing is don't we just act out of excitement? Because when there are trade relations with South Sudan, we rush to say the doors have been opened in South Sudan, there is business there, then all of us will find ourselves going to Juba. When we say the UPDF has helped us pacify now the DRC, and the DRC has now come to the fraternity of the EAC, then all of us would say, oh, lots of trade opportunities in the DRC. The next thing is we all want to go to Kisangani, we all want to go to Goma, we all want to go to, these places. Now it is Somalia. We've had trade relations, we've now had relationships with Somalia, the country is pacified, Uganda has been there, UPDF has done their role, now the president visited another president. Then all of us are now again saying, oh, it should now be Mogadishu. We need to find our ways there. Aren't we just spreading too wide and
well, we are not just excited, but businessmen we scan. So it's the role of we leaders in the business community to see how do we guide our members. But the fact is that whenever, entrepreneurs, you're supposed to be positive in all your perceptions. And you try, then you find possible controls of not backfiring. But the fact is that I'm seeing, I don't know, maybe just I'm so positive, but I think there are more opportunities in Somalia, in DRC. So the moment we are pursuing a special fund of how traders who are willing to sell Ugandan products, because now Somali, basing on the rate of industrial development, they are still low. So we can sell cooking oil, we can sell building materials, because now they are reconstructing Somalia. After the summit, we started engaging dealers in hardware. They can get a lot of money from there. The only challenge is that now, given the fact that the cement price is high, so when they export, you never know, it may it may also go higher. But we just have to be a little bit more positive. And even the team, nowadays what we do, we organize those tours and we go to those places. We don't just rush. That's why in my submission I said we are not going to compete with the Somalis. We're supposed to make them partners. Even during the Congo summit, by the way, their presentation was so good because they said, yes, let us be partners. We should not compete. I was happy when even I had the president saying that, why should East African countries compete each other? Let us be partners. In that, because you find that what Kenya is producing almost is the same what Uganda is producing. The same applies to what Uganda is producing. It's like Tanzania. But just imagine, during this second term, we owners of schools were importing beans from Tanzania because our capacity was
Exactly.
low.
And I think
So we need to be, we can supplement each other.
We'll take a break and return. But when we return, that's the same point I wanted you to address me on, because, you know, we talk about all these very good markets. And you know, why President Museveni is anchoring and pushing for the integration of the region, integration of East Africa and eventually Africa, is we all look at all the things. And he says, you have only 40 plus million Ugandans, but if you broaden this fraternity, now you have the DRC on board. When Somalia comes, then you have a population of over 250 million people. Now that's how big the market is. But you see, you talk about a population of about 250 million people, and we think about serving these countries with the same product. We will talk about maize, we'll talk about coffee, we'll talk about maybe dairy products, we'll talk about and a few things, fruits here and there. And that's what we'll talk about. And the question is, do we even have the capacity to satisfy the market? Because what is our leverage in business with these countries? What is it that we want to sell to Somalia, that we want to sell to Sudan, that we want to sell to the DRC, that we want to sell to all our neighbors? We'll take a break. And when we come, Mr. Msoketadias, Chairman Kasita, will start from that very point. And of course, later on, we'll also talk about a few issues in Kenya to also see how they mirror and affect our business processes in Uganda. We'll turn shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
National Council for Higher Education will hold the 4th Annual Higher Education Conference on the 14th and 15th September 2022. The conference theme is Enhancement of Teaching, Learning and Assessment with Ordeal in Higher Education. The guest of honor will be the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni. The conference will be held physically at Hotel Africana for only invited guests and open to online participants via Zoom webinar that will be shared under the events section at www.unche.or.ug. The keynote speakers are Ezra Nazim, Senior Fellow of Higher Education Academy UK, Professor Henk Gerald Sola, a Dutch organizational theorist and Emeritus Professor of Business, Engineering and ICT at Groningen University, the Netherlands. The National Council for Higher Education is receiving papers from researchers and scholars for publication in the Uganda Higher Education Review, Journal of National Council for Higher Education. For more details, send inquiries to cmuhumuza@unche.or.ug, info@unche.or.ug, or call 0783 04 0024 or 0704 80 0926 plus 256 39 32 62 140/4.
Affordable packages, great entertainment,
sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies.
There is something for everybody.
Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Ugandan shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Thank you so much and welcome back from the break. My name is Jagana Semakola Ziksoka on Good Morning Uganda Extra, and with me in studios is Mr. Thaddeus Musokenagenda, the chairman, Kasita. Of course, talk about the Uganda-Somali relations and what we think will benefit from all these issues happening. Just before we went for the break, Mr. Musoke, I'd actually asked you what is our leverage? What is our advantage? Because we'll talk about the same thing. We'll talk about beans, we'll talk about agriculture, we'll talk about dairy products. But do we have enough to satisfy the community?
Anyway, the best thing, that's what we were trying to explain to the Minister of Finance, that you always fight importation, but can you give a real way of importation to supplement our local production? Because when you look like at Nitel Uganda, they have invested heavily in their capacity. So we are improving in the t-shirt production. The same applies to spine spinners. And even there is other new factory in Kapeka. So we are not only selling tomatoes in these countries. What we are urging to the Minister of Finance, let manufacturers be manufacturers. The only challenge here, you find that like Bidiko wants to be the distributor, wants to be the wholesaler. So we need the terms of trade like agents to be more operational. So let we the traders take those products in Congo. Not 90. So when we sell to Congo, we shall be gaining. The good thing that these our local manufacturers, we have already the market. But also when our local communities are benefiting through their because of their existence. So nowadays Uganda is, I think, on the right path with the local production. Currently, I admire setting up a local assembly plant for electronics. Just that I'm trying to mobilize the funds because there are very, very many incentives which we have to utilize. So the moment we Ugandans don't find or don't utilize these incentives, then foreigners will come and utilize these incentives. So we shall continue lamenting that you see the government is favoring foreigners, but what are you doing as you Ugandan? Yes, we know the fact is there are challenges, like I told you. If the government can simplify access to long-term financing, if the government can change the mandate of Uganda Development Bank, if the government can avail us with affordable interest rates, can the banks lower the interest rate? Because we are competing with Kenyans who can access at 10%. For us, you are 25, 30, so you find that loans are still very expensive here in Uganda. But even if there are those challenges, we have to keep on fighting on as we engage the government. The good thing currently, the government is talking about business. Whenever nowadays the president no longer talks about the COVID like before, he's talking about business. He's talking about economic recovery. So we just need to make sure that we avail possible solutions, possible recommendations to the cabinet and through the Minister of Finance and Minister of Trade. And luckily enough, our party, even from me, before joining you here, I was with a meeting with the Minister of Trade before she heads to the cabinet. Because yes, we have challenges which we thought that are vital when she's given chance to present to the president. She can see, she can also present us so well in the cabinet meetings. So we are strongly improving our relationship with the ministry, because our line ministry, and even always we engage Ministry of Finance. The fact is that they do respect Kasita. We are always welcome through those engagements, and we are not achieving all what we want, because like we also had recommended reduction of taxes, but Ministry of Finance refused, but we keep on engaging.
Okay. the uncertainty in Kenya. But of course, at the end of the day, we will have to have a president, whether in William Ruto or Raila Amolo Odinga. One of them should be president in the next couple of hours. As traders, of course, you know, Ugandans have been on social media talking about the election in Kenya. All of them for different reasons. You ask a few, why do you support Raila Odinga? The man has suffered, the man has suffered. So, and their reason is, but their reasons are not Kenyan reasons.
He needs to be given a chance.
The man needs to be given a chance. Now those are Ugandans.
The guy is becoming very old.
The gun has tried, he has become very old. At least that's a reasoning. Then you go to the other and say, why do you support Ruto? Then they will tell you this or that or that. Now, these are Ugandan, and unfortunately, they're not voters, and their wishes have nothing to affect them. But we're just concerned as neighbors that when Kenya burns, it burns us. It's a neighborhood. When Kenya is at peace, we thrive. We benefit from that. So, you the traders, now that Kenya is even a trade route, how is the election there affecting you, coming at a time when the economic crisis is also biting very hard?
You know, we have been engaging. For us as Kasita, we didn't just keep quiet.
Okay.
We have been engaging the Kenya Ports Authority because we wanted assurance. You know, we are demanding the government of Kenya over 200 billions.
Uganda shillings?
Yes, due to most of our members lost goods.
In 2007?
Yes, 2007.
Until now?
And even when we went to court, we won the case. And the court ordered to be compensated. But the current president...
Where did you go? ESCJ?
Yes, but the current president, Uhuru, put a stay on the payment. So we are critically observing the election. You never know. You never know the new president may ease
exactly
the whole process so that
whoever comes in
Ugandans can be compensated. But even when we had to put pressure on Kenyan Ports Authority, we told them, you know, you guys, you are sleeping, but you don't know what Tanzania is doing. First of all, when the president of Tanzania, when she came here, our president made clear that most of the challenges Ugandans face to trade with Tanzania, they are eased. You know, Tanzania had put so many restrictions, so many roadblocks. By the way, when you analyze very critically the new president,
Mama
and the
Samia.
late, I think she's better.
Mama Samia.
She understands trade better than the late. You find that most of now the restrictions are being eased. And they have invested heavily in the standard railway gauge. So they are simplifying the whole process of transit. Even they had to reassure us. Can you believe that Tanzania Ports Authority even had to come all the way to Uganda and even paid membership to Kasita to be partners? And even they promised to put up a special office.
TPA is your member?
Here. Yes, to a special office here in Uganda so that any queries are easily addressed. And even that we no longer worry about the distance. You can pick your goods from Jinja or Port Bell. So when we complained about, you know, the effectiveness of Uganda Railway, they had to go ahead and invest in repairing
the meter gauge.
Even in repairing our wagons. Our wagons. So you find that...
Tanzania?
Yes, so Central Corridor, we told them, you people, even you are very slow, you want to work at your own pace. They said, no, we are going to improve everything. Even they have put a special shed of Uganda goods. So they're giving us more incentive. Even the cost has been reduced. The time you spend when you are importing, instead of 2 weeks, now it can take 5 days, 7 days. So you find out they understand business. So Tanzania has started to realize the benefits of integration. So when they compete with Kenya, for us Ugandans have another alternative. But even for Kenyans, they assured us that no, everything is going to be peaceful. So we feel happy. Even like, was it yesterday when all the candidates were praying for a peaceful period in Kenya, we felt a mature sense of our comrades. But we consider what we did last week, but we had to issue a memo to our members to stop tentatively importation, not to risk, but those who are willing to risk
Because business is about taking risks.
They could continue, but given the fact that even normal days our containers have been attacked
Without
and,
an election.
yes, even
without
our
any
goods
cause,
sometimes stolen. So we have been engaging several times with Interpol to see how do we safeguard our containers and even Uganda Revenue Authority. So the good thing, even we have now the East African Business Council.
Okay.
We have several platforms when we can present our views or our suggestions. But the position of Kasita is to hold importation of goods tentatively. All the goods were in transit. And luckily enough, what Kenya Port Authority suggested, no damage on any goods transit to Uganda. No damage. So our members, they shouldn't worry. No extra costs. It's just, you know, through those engagements, we try to see how do we lobby for our members. So far for the business community, given the fact that even the sales are low, we haven't found any shortage in supply. So we just want our members not to utilize, you know, we want to utilize all the opportunities and we find excuses. So there is no excuse of increasing the price of goods on Uganda market currently.
Thank you very much. Now, just before we close it down, history has it that in Kenya, whenever they go for an election, it's a very seamless, good process until after. The post-election is what normally causes issues there, the post-announcement or declaration. We've seen this for some of us who have taken time to look and study and possibly even participate in the Kenyan election. It's normally until 2010 when they promulgated their new constitution to allow them to actually have courts now coming in if there is any disagreement, because they didn't have that, and that's why I think you had that problem in 2007-8 is because there was no other way. You know, where do you go? There was nothing to do. And so from what is actually happening, I am looking at you as Kasita. What do you think? What are you telling your members? And the outcome of the election, today or tomorrow, when Mr. Wafula Chebukati announces and tells the country, he is your new president, how does that affect, how do you interpret that, regardless of who of the two gentlemen comes in, whether Ruto or Raila, to you the business persons? Don't tell me the person that you want to come in office, but whoever comes in, what do you think?
Whoever comes in, for us, we are ready to work with him. The only challenge is that where we are critically, by the way, I love the way Ugandans are concerned with the elections in Kenya, because
all of a sudden
we are learning a lot, and even it's our major trade route. But by the way, you find that only our challenge is that the moment there is any chaos, we are on tension about the fuel prices.
It will affect us, definitely.
It will affect us. So that's why most of Ugandans are praying for peaceful season in Kenya, election season in Kenya.
Like it's been, because, yes, because it normally gets issues after the declaration.
Yes, so that's why we told our members, why should you risk? Getting money is not easy. We are economic recovery, even the sales are not so good. Being patient can save our capital. But, you know, it's a very critical situation. It's very critical. We just hope for the best, because you never know. But the moment the Kenyans believe in their new president who will be announced soon, they say that, I think tomorrow is the deadline.
It should be tomorrow, because tomorrow. The law gives them 7 days. The election was last week on Tuesday, so 7 days actually today, not tomorrow. But of course they can't go beyond tomorrow. So any time from now, the smoke should either be yellow smoke or blue smoke. It's terrible. But yes, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Msoke. Your final remarks, your final comments, and your final message to the business community of, is it Kampala or Uganda?
Uganda. Oh, it's now Kasita, Uganda.
It's Kasita, Uganda.
We are stretching all our structures throughout. As soon we are going to launch the Mbalala branch through Mbalala State Traders Association, and then the Alua State Traders Association. We are stretching all our structures, and then we have those regional structures which we are setting up to find that we have that effective administration of the business community. I want to thank you, my comrade. I like your arguments and presentation. You are a very well-researched man. I want to thank the management for this opportunity, because now currently all the economies as private sector led. So when we are given this opportunity, we have a vital role we have to play in order to change the perception of Ugandans. It's like even we are looking at agriculture now as business because people are becoming rich from agriculture. We totally discourage people, our comrades selling land, and then you buy borders. You find that there are so many restrictions on borders. So why can't we use that gold in agriculture? So with such platforms, I want to thank management for always sparing time and giving us this opportunity. And then we had a block on the development of Uganda's economy. May the Almighty God bless our members and you, our comrades. And I wish you a best week.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Thaddeus Musoke Nagenda, the chairman of Kasita, Uganda. Thank you for having allowed to join us here. And of course, we'll look at issues of our trade relations with Kenya now that they have elections, and of course with Somalia that we had President Sheikh Mohammed visit us just last week. Actually, as Kenya was getting into the election, the president was visiting us. So, and that's why we are growing the community and of course seeing the opportunities that we can tap in, just as the chairman here says. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We'll stop it here for now. Wishing you all the best. For God and my country, stay blessed. Shalom and good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.